there. Today I want to talk to you about something slippery, oil. What are you going to fry your foods in? Now, I'm not talking about flipping vegetables in a saute pan on the stove. I'm talking about deep frying. Here are some pointers that I've learned over my 40 years. Better oil means food tastes better, your oil stays stable without breaking down, and I'll explain that in a minute. In the long run, you're going to save money, and it keeps customers coming back because nobody wants to have food that's been fried in oil that's just plain off. The smoke point. What's a smoke point? When it smokes, the oil is done. When you can fry food at a certain temperature and it doesn't smoke, it means your oil is good. When you go to fry the food and it's smoking like crazy, and I'm not talking about the steam that comes from evaporation when you put cold food in a fryer. I'm talking about smoke. And when your oil starts to turn, it will begin to smoke, and it will be kind of a brown, unpleasant smoke. You'll know. Cheapest is not best. I'll talk more about different kinds of oil and price in a minute, but boy, when you're trying to watch every nickel and dime, it's so tempting to get that really cheap oil, but it's just not worth it. If it's dark, if it's foamy, it smells off, it's done. Okay, so next, we're going to talk about smoke point. We're going to talk about the different oils and the pricing. So one oil that is very popular is canola oil. People like it because of the price. It's one of the cheapest oils you can buy. The smoke point on it is 400 degrees. So if you're frying at 400 degrees and it starts to smoke, that's when you know your oil is done. Peanut oil. I will say this about peanut oil. I've never used it. I did some research on it. The research indicates that they remove whatever it is that makes people have an allergic reaction. So even if you have a nut allergy, supposedly peanut oil is good. I've never used it. I don't want to take that chance. So please do your research before you use peanut oil. It is more expensive, but it does have a higher smoke point, so that makes it a little bit easier. The oil will last a little longer. And one of the most popular ones is soy. The smoke point on soy is 450, and soy is less expensive. Okay, and then as I said, avocado oil or olive oil are good for sauteing on top of the stove. They're not good for deep frying, and they're also very expensive. The last one I want to bring up is lard. When I first started in this business, we made all our fries from scratch, which is awesome if you can do it and do it correctly, and that's a whole nother video, which I haven't made yet. But lard comes in a square box, and it's probably 30 or 40 pounds. It has a heavy duty bag inside it, and the lard is inside the bag, and it's solid. It's not like Crisco. It's white like Crisco, but it's hard. Lard is the fat from a pig that has been rendered. It has no flavor, and it makes a fantastic medium to cook fries in. However, it used to be the cheapest. Now it's one of the more expensive ones. You could look into it. You could find somebody who uses it. You could taste their product and see if it's something you want to look into. Okay, where to purchase your oil. That's another whole video also I'm going to do about where you should be purchasing your products. But you kind of have three main categories as to where you're going to get your product. You can go to a warehouse store like Costco or Sam's. They have it on the shelf. You can see what they have. You can check out the price. If you only buy one every once in a while, then you're probably okay to buy it there. You can go to a place like Restaurant Depot or Gordon's. Again, you can walk in off the street there. You might have to have an account, check the pricing, and they probably are going to have more of a variety. Lastly, and this is what I highly recommend, you use a real food provider. Cisco, PFG, US Foods. If you price your oil, price the product at other places, and then find out how much it is from your provider, you can sometimes negotiate with them. Also, they often have pallet deals, and buying 10 or 12 jugs of oil at a time may seem like, wow, that could last me 6 months. But on the other hand, yeah, that could last you 6 months. Could be a really good deal. You could save 10 bucks a jug. So these things are expensive. The price fluctuates on them. So you have to be really smart as far as where you're shopping for them. Also, disposing of oil, kind of a dirty little secret nobody ever talks about, but you might want to find someone who really wants the oil. That's what we have always been able to do. People, I don't understand how it works, but people use it in their cars. People use it for heating, in actual tanks, gas, stoves for heating a house, or maybe a little kerosene heater for heating a shop. But you can find people who want that oil and they will carry it away for free. Don't try to sell it to them. Just be thrilled that you're getting rid of the oil. If you can't figure that out, check with the local facilities. Find out the correct disposal. You may have to pay to dispose of your oil, which makes option A even better. And don't forget to reuse your jugs, okay? So when you put that clean, beautiful oil in your fryer, don't throw that jug away, because when it comes time to take that icky, dark oil out, you'll need a place to put it. Okay, finally, don't forget you have to clean your fryers, okay? You can use a portable filter, which looks like a mailbox on wheels, and the oil comes out, it goes into the mailbox, it goes through a filter in the mailbox, and then it shoots back in, and it's cleaner than it was, okay? You can't depend on that to make your oil good as new, but it will definitely make your oil last longer. And the price of oil versus the price of that mailbox system, you may find it's well worth it. It depends how often you clean your oil. What are you cooking? For instance, when we did blooming onions, there was a lot of cornmeal in the mix, and that cornmeal falls off whatever you're frying, goes into the bottom of the fryer, sits there, and eventually will burn, and that will start to make your oil break down. So you may have to, if you're frying something like that, you may have to do it, anything breaded, you may have to do it more often. Also, another way to judge how to do it is how much money are you taking in. We used to use like $10,000 or $12,000 as a rule. If we did $10,000 and $12,000 on Thursday, Friday, then Saturday morning we'd have to clean and start again. Or if it was a slow weekend or it was bad weather, whatever, maybe we could go 3 days without changing the oil. My husband was diligent about cleaning out the fryers. He emptied the oil, he strained the oil, if he was going to put new oil in, he washed out the fryers, fill them up with water, and you use a chemical process called boil out into the fryer, and you let it boil for like 20 minutes, and your fryers come out nice and clean. There may be non-chemical alternatives. You can ask your salesman about that. But these are things that nobody tells you you'll have to do, but they are very important. And the busier you are, the more money you're taking in across the counter, the more often you're going to have to do this. Cleaning out the fryers will not only make food taste better, but in the long run it will help the fryers too, because they're not having to work harder because they've got all that burned stuff on the bottom. Okay, I'm going to end here showing you the research I did and who fries what in what kind of oil. So Kentucky Fried Chicken, they use soybean oil. Interesting. McDonald's, they use a canola soy blend, and they apparently use that for their fries and their chicken products. Now Wendy's, just looking at their chicken products, their chicken nuggets and so forth, they use vegetable oil. Interesting. And the last one I looked at was Long John Silver's, and when they cook their fish, they use canola oil. So you got 4 different very well-known chains. You've got 4 different types of oil. I strongly urge you to get a salesman with a big company like Cisco. Talk to them. You can make arrangements, maybe once a week delivery. Save yourself all that time of running to the store every morning. People are so overwhelmed by the amount of work they have to do, and really you need to make it simpler. Get a salesman from Cisco or from US Foods, whatever, and talk to them about the oil. Tell them what you're frying and get their opinion. Figure out what's going to last longer. Figure out what you can get the best deal on. Shop around, and you'll be glad you did. Thanks. Have a great day.